What up, gamers? And today I have a composition that I cooked up myself. Now, for all of you guys who like to watch my videos Helen Keller style and are getting ready to type away, I know I am not the one who discovered that you play Sage and Dragonlord together. What I'm specifically talking about in this video is tempoing on an Alune 2-star. I see no one doing this. No one does this. And I started just doing this because I loathe reroll metas. I cannot stand reroll metas. Everyone knows that who's watched me for a long time. Feels like we've been in a reroll meta for like 2 years now, and I'm so excited to play next patch. And so on the current patch, I was looking for a kind of like mid-game tempo comp that spikes really hard on level 9 as well. And, you know, Sage Dragonlord. That's a really, really good line that really spikes on end-game. And I was trying to think, how can I like spike on this comp really hard mid-game? And I tried out some variants. And when I started playing Alune, I was like, this unit is broken in this comp at 2-star mid-game, like stage 3, stage 4. If you have a very powerful tank line plus an 2-star with 3 items, like it is so strong in the mid-game, especially if you have the right setup and the right augments. So this is not a reroll comp. I actually don't even think Alune 3 is very good. Like if you get Alune 3, it's a crank. But like investing on the reroll, I don't think is very valuable because she's just so strong at 2-star that there's no point of going for the 3-star. And this composition I think will be very good next patch because it is being buffed quite a bit. So Alune is being buffed and Alune being buffed to all ranks, which is really important because 1 and 2-star, man. 2-star is what's most important to us. They're buffing 3-star as well. So if you end up playing for the 3-star, great. That can be strong for you as well. But this buff is so good for us. And they're also buffing Riven and Zyra, which we play in the comp every single game. So let's talk about this more. So this is the level 7 comp we want to look for. And what you need for Alune to pop off is you need 3 items on Alune. You'll need a Morello, a mana generation item, and then a damage item. Usually you want that to be Deathcap or Archangels, but if it has to be GS or Guardbreaker, that is acceptable, but not ideal. And then you need an upgraded Diana, hopefully an upgraded Riven, and another tank. And you need to have some tanky items. So prioritize items for Alune, and tank items are what are most important in this. We obviously need to have Shred at some point in our comp, but we need to prioritize earlier on in the game tank and items for Alune. Now, if you're curious about the items I have on Diana set up right here, and we'll talk more about augments in a second, if you can somehow magically get this item set up, this is actually Diana's Bis, because especially if you have fully adaptive, because Diana is not mana locked. So if you've ever noticed, if you put multiple adaptive helms on Diana, she will cast and then will recast again in like a second. Especially if she's taking a lot of damage, especially later on in the fight. She just constantly casts. Super good setup on her, but you know, just put tank items on her and you'll be good to go. But if you can get a setup like this with like Pandora's or something, or you get fully adaptive and you're just high rolling these items, yeah, look for something like this. But don't lose your game for this. You just put tank items there, and then leftover tank items are going to go on your Galio or your Silas, which is usually going to be here. Now, this composition is not a comp I necessarily recommend for low elo or beginner players, unless you just want to like have fun learning how to play this like complicated comp, play in flex. Because I actually think this comp is extremely difficult to pilot because there are loads of considerations that I personally consider whenever I'm playing the comp. I also, you know, I'll consider rerolling Janna. I'll consider a bunch of different things, like if I hit an early Annie, or if I have a 2-star Nico, can change things for me as well. But it gets really complicated playing around Sage and Dragonlord. So I just want to keep this as simple as possible for you guys who want to try to learn this strategy and learn kind of this more flex style, which should be a lot better on next patch. So anyways, we'll be playing for this board on level 7, and this is a mid-game tempo comp. And let's talk more about augments real quick. As we said before, tank items and 3 items for Alune is what's most important. So going through things like fully adaptive, impenetrable bulwark is going to be great. More tank, more better. Dragonlord's Crest is really great as an indicator to play the comp. Fully adaptive is a great indicator as a way to play the comp. So I'll take Dragonlord Crest on 2-1 all the time if I want to play this, because having a Diana is a very strong tank on stage 2. You can already start playing around Dragonlord, especially if you have a Janna drop. You'll already be on 3 Dragonlord and can very easily put in 4 Dragonlord earlier on into the game. And then, yeah, it's just anything that's going to make your team more tanky is going to be good for you. And so just look for more tanky style augments or Dragonlord +1. Sage +1 is not it. Like vertical Sage is really whatever. Like if you can magically have Sage through a bunch of other means like vertical Sage, then that's great. But you never like invest augments to have vertical Sage. Just not that good. And then your leftover carry items are going to go onto a Janna. And ideally you just want to put your Shred here, put your Static Shiv, and you do like Ragebait Archangels. You know, she needs a lot of AP. and you'll be good to go. And anyways, we're going to look for this exact board on 7, but on 6, which is something I really like about this comp, is that you can roll on 6 and 7. If you need to roll on 6, you're just looking for this board minus Soraka, and then right here, you'll either play Garen or you'll play an Aatrox, a 2-star, or like a Rek'Sai 2-star. Both of those are very good. Substitutes for Galio before you can hit. Now, one consideration whenever you're rolling for this board on 7 is, instead of playing Galio, if you hit Sylas, you need to pick up Sylas on your roll down. If you hit Sylas, play Sylas. So if you magically get a Sylas, like sometimes you'll just roll on 7, you'll hit a Sylas 2-star, something like that. All right, we're not playing Galio this game. And you'll just use, you'll use the Umbral proc for Alune, and that can be quite powerful in the mid game. The Sylas is not as strong for you in the late game because we are going to transition to a 4 Dragonlord Azir comp. And so let's talk about the transition we're going to make once you go 9. So the whole point is we want to spike on this, and then we want to go 9. So we want to have 2-star Diana, 2-star Alune, hopefully upgrade the rest of our front line. And then from there, we want to go 9 as quick as possible. If you need to make a pit stop and roll on 8, sometimes you have to, but we want to go 9. We do not care about Alune 3. The only time I look for Alune 3 is if I just get loads of extra copies and I think I can hit it for free. So now let's talk about the in-game comp that we're playing for. So we're playing for Dragonlord. So a problem that Alune has, and I realize Alune's not even on my board anymore, because we're going to try to transition to Azir. But when you hit this board, a lot of times you'll be playing Alune for a while until you have Azir 2-star. What Alune and Azir both need is they need a lot of time. And they usually need to cast about 3 times before they're really cranking. And so what Dragonlord does for you is Dragonlord just puts a pause on the fight after their first cast and allows them to cast a second time completely uninterrupted. And they can go on and, now they have the Dragonlord proc, and they'll probably cast like 4 or 5 times in the fight if your tanks are still alive. And the other thing that's great for Dragon with Alune, even just Alune 2-star, is the problem with Alune is when you're playing Alune and your tank line isn't very strong, you will find that like some fights you just literally don't kill a single unit, or you kill one unit. You kill the unit that Alune is personally targeting. Because if your tank line isn't strong, everyone's just moving around so much. When she casts, she'll just miss all the time. And so you need your tank line to be really strong for that reason, but also Dragonlord just puts a pause on the fight. So literally no one is moving, and you'll cast during the Dragonlord proc, and it's amazing. Azir has the same problem, and the Dragonlord thing cracks, and then he summons more soldiers, which again compounds on itself, buys more time. So that's the point of the Dragonlord, and the 4 Dragonlord is just really strong. Now they are nerfing Dragonlord next patch, 4 Dragonlord, the true damage. They're nerfing the true damage, but we don't care about that at all. Who cares? Who cares about the true damage? That's just a cherry on top. We care about the stun, the pause in the fight, and the attack speed that we gain after that. That's what we care about. So anyways, we're going to be looking for this exact board on level 9. And as soon as we hit Azir 2-star, we are just going to transition to Azir. Now, these are not the ideal setup Azir items, but these are the ideal Alune items. And so whatever items you built for Alune, they're going to go on Azir. If you're somehow able to remake Janna, like Azir's in a great rate. He's a great Rage Blade user. His base attack speed is like 0.85, which is super high. So if you're somehow able to like swap all the items, probably put more of the Janna style items on Azir and then and put these over here, that'll be fine. Be good to go. And then we'll look for this. The only considerations for your level 9 that we want to change, if you have a Dragonlord emblem, then you don't need to play Lee Sin if you don't want to. You can play an Ornn, but 5 Dragonlord's great as well. So you can just play 5 Dragonlord. 45% attack speed is the nuts. And then also, if you hit an Udyr 2 and an Ornn 2, and you have the Azir on your board already, you can consider dropping Galio and dropping Story River for Udyr and Ornn, because they're 2 of the best units in the entire game. So that is another consideration for your in-game comp. Anyways, once you get here, you're cranking, you're feeling good, and this comp is really fun, and I think it will be even stronger next patch. So look out for this, and good luck climbing, guys. See you on the next one.